Harry Styles' songs are full of idiomatic expressions and everyday English words that will boost your conversational skills. Let's learn some English with two of his hit pop songs, Adore You and Golden. Plus, stick around to see the surprising twist of who Harry adores in the music video. A rainbow is literally a multicolored arc in the sky made from sunlight entering a water droplet. We typically see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple in a rainbow. But in a not so literal sense, a rainbow is often used as a symbol for happiness or pride. And paradise is used when people refer to a perfect place. Everyone's paradise in their heads might be a bit different. Maybe it's a beautiful beach or a lake in the mountains. No matter what, it's perfect to you and makes you happy. So here, Harry is saying that he walks into this person's rainbow paradise, otherwise known as their happy place. Strawberry lipstick state of mind. Lipstick is a type of makeup you put on your lips to change their color. For instance, Taylor Swift is known for her red lipstick, and state of mind is a common phrase in English that means what your mood is and where your mind is currently at. A similar word would be mindset. For instance, it's common for people to say, I have a vacation state of mind, meaning their mind is on vacation, even if they're not actually on vacation right now. Or the popular song by Alicia Keys and Jay-Z called Empire State of Mind, meaning their mind is in New York City, where the Empire State Building is located. So here, when you combine these together, Harry is saying that strawberry lipstick is on his mind. Probably not the actual tube of lipstick, more like someone wearing the lipstick. When someone uses the word lost, it's the past tense of lose, which means that you don't know where you are and aren't able to find your way back. This can be used for both literal and non-literal situations. Something literal would be that you got lost in the city, meaning you didn't physically know where you were in the city. And something non-literal would be that you felt lost in life, meaning physically you're safe, but mentally you're just not sure what the right path or next step is for you. Inside is the inner part or side of something. For instance, here you can see the outside and the inside of the house. Or you can ask someone to put something inside the box. But sometimes this isn't so literal, which is what Harry is saying here. He didn't actually physically get lost in someone's eyes since that's impossible. He got lost in his mind when he stared into that person's eyes because they were so beautiful. When someone believes something, they accept something as true or feel sure that it's true. For instance, lots of kids around the world believe in some version of Santa Claus who brings them presents on Christmas. Another example is, I believe this job is perfect for me. When someone asks, would you believe it? They're asking if you think something is true. For instance, if I told you that you were going to get married this year, would you believe it? Another way to say this would be, would you believe that you're getting married this year? So here, Harry is saying that he can't stop thinking about this person's lips or eyes, so he's asking them, do you believe that I can't stop thinking about you? You don't have to say you love me. You don't have to say nothing. Nothing is a shortened version of nothing, which means not anything or no single thing. Like I have nothing in my fridge, meaning I have no food in my fridge. It's really common in English to shorten words. It's especially common to not say the G in ing verbs like eatin', singin', or dancin'. It's just a way to sound more casual and more like a native speaker. So here, Harry is actually giving us a sentence that's not grammatically correct. You don't have to say nothing. We have two negative words here, not and nothing. In English, we never use double negatives, so we'd actually need to say, you don't have to say anything, or you have to say nothing. But anything has 3 syllables and nothing has 2 syllables, so it goes better with the beat of the song. Sometimes singers do this in their songs to make it sound better, even if it's not grammatically correct. You don't have to say you're mine. There are actually 2 definitions for your based on the spelling. Here we have Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, so it's a contraction for the words you are, like you're really nice. Or you're coming to the beach Friday, right? But the other meaning for your is just spelled Y-O-U-R. And this one is possessive, meaning that something belongs to you or the person you're speaking to. Like, is this your phone? Or how do you like your coffee? When someone says something is mine, they are being possessive and saying something belongs to them, like, that ice cream is mine, or this flower is mine. Here, Harry is saying the phrase, you're mine, which means this person belongs to him. Be careful because some people might think this is a sweet compliment and show how much you love them or are devoted to them. There's a similar phrase that's really common in English called be mine, where you're asking someone to be yours. You'll see this phrase a lot in cards and candy during Valentine's Day. But some people might take it as an insult because it can suggest they are property that can be owned. Make sure to check with your partner if this is a phrase they are okay with or not before you use it. Honey, in this context, is a term of endearment for someone you love. It can be used in a romantic relationship or just with anyone who you care a lot about, like a father calling his daughter honey, or a boyfriend calling his girlfriend honey. Some other popular terms of endearment are babe, sweetie, or buddy. You'd use babe in a romantic relationship, sweetie for a girl you love, either romantic or not, and buddy typically for a boy who is your friend. It's important to note that terms of endearment are only for people you are really close to and have a special relationship with. If you randomly call someone honey or sweetie, they might think it's a bit weird or even offensive. But honey also has another meaning that's more literal, which is the sticky, sweet substance made from bees. So if you saw this video on YouTube or simply Googled the lyrics, you might be confused about which definition of honey applies here. Because when we Google honey, it just gives us the literal definition, which is even more confusing because it doesn't fit the context. But if we watch this same video in FluentU, an app that teaches you English with authentic videos, we can click on the interactive subtitles and see the correct context-specific definition along with real-world example videos.
Hey honey, how are the kids?
Plus, you can take personalized quizzes so you can practice your fluency and pronunciation to sound just like a native. If that's your goal, you should check out the 2-week free trial link for FluentU in the description. And FluentU is currently having a sale, so it's perfect timing. A lot of people confuse the words across and through. Across refers to the movement of someone or something on, at, to, or from the other side, while through implies the movement of someone or something from one side to another in an enclosed space. For instance, he crawled across the room versus he crawled through the doorway into the kitchen. So here, Harry is saying that he would walk through fire to show this person how much he loves them, something that would be extremely painful. When you adore something or someone, it means you love and respect it deeply. You can use it for small things like I adore my new shoes, or really important things like I adore my wife. So here, Harry is talking about someone who is really important to him. He just wants this person to let him love them. Only means without any others being included or involved. Like I only eat healthy food, meaning I do not eat anything that's unhealthy. Or I only drive red cars, so I would never drive a car that wasn't red. Some synonyms for only are solely or exclusively. So when you combine this with thing for only thing, it means it's a single one or there's very little of something. Like the only thing on my mind is pizza, meaning I'm only thinking about one thing, and that's pizza. Harry is saying he wants loving this person to be the only thing he does or his sole focus in life. When someone calls something or someone a wonder, they mean it's impressive, admirable, or incredible. Two common examples using the word wonder in everyday English are Wonderland and 7 Wonders of the World. Wonderland means an incredible or beautiful place, like Alice in Wonderland, a world filled with bright colors and unique animals you wouldn't find in real life. Or when it snows somewhere, you can call it a winter wonderland to express how beautiful and out of this world it looks. And the 7 wonders of the world are said to be the 7 most beautiful sights to see all over the world, things that everyone should add to their bucket list. Wonder can also be a verb which means to be curious to know something, like, I wonder why my boss is late, or do you ever wonder what it's like to be famous? If you don't want to wonder what we learned in today's video, make sure to download our free PDF review guide using the link in the description. Over means at a higher level or layer than. Like when you look at these bunk beds, you can see the top one is over the bottom one. Or you can put the blankets over the sheets when you make your bed. It's also a popular slang phrase in English to say you're over something, which means you're sick or tired of something. Like, I'm so over math class, or aren't you over your boyfriend ignoring you? But here, Harry is referring to the first meaning of putting lemon physically at a higher level or over ice to make lemonade.
You don't have to say you love me, I just wanna tell you something.
Us native speakers always say wanna instead of the full version want to because we love to shorten things. It's just like how we shorten going to gonna or have to have to. So if you want to sound more like a native, try to use these shortened versions in your daily conversations. And just like I mentioned earlier in the song with nothing, we get rid of the ending G here in something to sound more casual. Something means a thing that doesn't have a name or is unknown. For instance, did you notice something at work today? Or I saw something by my car. We don't know exactly what was noticed at work or seen by the car, but it was something. So here, Harry wants to tell the person he loves something important. Lately means recently or not long ago. Like lately, I've been eating a lot of apples. Or you seem different lately. A word you could use instead is recently. When we're writing in English, we would typically have time expressions like lately and recently at the end of the sentence. But in spoken English, this order isn't particularly important. On my mind is very similar to the phrase we broke down earlier in the song, state of mind. But instead of your entire mood and thoughts being wrapped around something, it's just one thing that you have been thinking about. For instance, this new job has been on my mind. Or, I'm sorry, I've just got a lot on my mind. So here, Harry is saying recently he's been thinking a lot about this person because they're so important to him. Or, so golden, which is actually a compliment Harry gives in this next hit song about someone else who's very important to him.
Golden, golden, golden as I open my eyes.
When you describe something as golden, you mean that it's colored or shining like gold. It's a common way to describe the sun. It's also common in everyday English to hear the phrase, I'm golden or you're golden, which normally means you're in a good place in life and will probably continue to be successful. It can also just be another way to say, I'm good or I'm okay. We'll hear Harry use the phrase, you're so golden, later in the song, and it actually has an even different meaning.
Hold it, focus, hoping.
Hold it literally means to grasp something in your hands like this bag is too heavy, can you hold it? But here, Harry's using another meaning, stop. For instance, if a cop sees someone breaking into a house, they might shout, hold it right there, which means to stop and don't move. When someone tells you to focus, they want you to give a lot of attention to something, like, can you please focus on the project? It's due tomorrow. And hoping means you want something to happen. A synonym here is wishing. For instance, I'm hoping the sun comes out today so we can go to the beach. So here, Harry is using a few words to describe what he wants. He wants to stop and think about his ex and hope things get better or that they get back together.
Take me back to the light.
Take me back is a common phrase when you wish you could go back to a certain time or place. For instance, take me back to that summer in Italy, meaning you wish you could go back to the summer you spent in Italy. It's a great phrase to use to show how great a memory is that you wish you could relive. Here, Harry is in a dark place after the breakup, so he wants to go back to the light or a happier and better time.
I know you were way too bright for me.
When you describe something with the word to in front of it, it means there's more of it than needed, so it actually has a negative connotation. For instance, saying, there's a lot of ketchup on a burger is different than saying there's too much ketchup on my burger. The first sentence states that there's a big quantity, while the second states that there's more ketchup than necessary. Bright literally describes something giving out or reflecting a lot of light, like the sun is so bright. But we can also use it figuratively, meaning not so literal. When you say someone has a bright future, it means they're on the path to being successful. And usually when you describe a person as bright, it means they are smart. It's similar to saying intelligent. But here, Harry is saying that his ex had such a happiness or light about them and had a promising future, that he knows they're not meant to be together because he doesn't have that same or enough brightness.
I'm hopeless, broken.
The suffix less means without, so friendless means without friends, and fearless means without fear. And hope is the feeling that you really want something to happen. So hopeless means that you don't have this feeling. Broken literally means something that is damaged and no longer in one piece. Like your arm is broken or the TV is broken. But you can also use it as a metaphor for how you're feeling on the inside. Your body might not be physically broken, but you might feel broken because of the hard times you've been going through. Both hopeless and broken are typical terms people use to describe someone who's going through a hard time in their life, like Harry is right now because of this breakup.
So you wait for me in the sky.
Wait for me is a common phrase people say when they want someone to stop and stay where they are until you come and meet up with them. For instance, if your friends are leaving to go to the beach, you can say, "Wait for me, I'll be there in 5 minutes." Meaning, please don't go without me, I'll be there in a few minutes and we can all go together. You can use this phrase when you want to wait for something else too. For instance, I need to wait for the chicken to cook, or I hate waiting for the bus. Another phrase you can use that's similar is wait up. Like, we're going to the movies. Okay, wait up, I want to go too. So if you don't want to wait any longer and you want to speak English like a native, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on upcoming videos like Learning English with Bridgerton.
Brown my skin just right.
Typically, you use brown as a noun, which is a color, but here we're using it as a verb, which is the act of turning brown. It's common in cooking to brown the butter, meaning to cook the butter slowly until it turns brown. Or here, how Harry is using it to describe the sun is browning your skin. You would more commonly use the words tanning or tans instead. Saying something is just right is another way to say it's perfect, or you wouldn't change a thing about it. For instance, this house is just right, or this dress fits just right.
You're so golden. Out of my head.
Out of my head is another way to say crazy or not thinking straight. Usually people would use this when they're describing a tough or difficult time where they weren't thinking clearly or not acting like their normal self. Like, I'm sorry, I was so upset and just out of my head last week. So here, Harry is saying his ex is golden or perfect and he's acting a bit crazy.
Know that you're scared because hearts get broken.
Scared is another way of saying frightened, like I'm scared of snakes. And the phrase hearts get broken is using the metaphor for brokenness we talked about earlier. The heart isn't physically broken or cracked in half, but because of the pain, you feel like it's broken. It's a common theme in movies and songs to talk about heartbreak, since unfortunately it's something most people can relate to. And it's something that a lot of people are scared of. They don't want to feel the pain of heartbreak, so they might not get into a relationship to begin with.
I don't wanna be alone. I don't wanna be alone. When it ends.
Remember that wanna is the shortened slang version of want to. But make sure to use the proper form want to in a formal setting, like talking with your boss, or when you need to write a professional email or paper. When you're alone, you're by yourself, so no one is around you. When talking about relationships, this is something that a lot of people are scared of or have a hard time with. Saying something ends is the same as saying it finishes or something is completed. Like, when this movie ends, I'll make myself lunch. Here, Harry is using it in a much darker way. When he says it ends, he means his life. So what he means in this entire line is that he doesn't want to be by himself when he dies.
I wanna let you know. I don't wanna be alone.
Letting someone know something is informing them, like let me know what you think of him, or let me know if you can make it to my party Saturday. Some other phrases that are similar are keep me posted or get back to me. You can use any of these phrases when you want someone to give you an answer to something or an opinion about something. So here, Harry is saying that he doesn't want this person to know that he doesn't want to be alone. He's embarrassed or ashamed about it.
But I can feel it take a hold.
The literal definition for take a hold is similar to what we talked about earlier with hold it. It means to grab something in your hands. Like, take a hold of this rope means grab this rope. But it's common to use take a hold to describe a feeling that's taking control or taking over you, which is what Harry is doing here. He's saying the feeling of not wanting to be alone is taking a hold on him, and it's all he can think about. Another example would be, fear can take a hold of you and change you, meaning if you're too afraid of something, it can take over your whole life.
I can feel you take control.
Take control is very similar to take a hold, which is what we just went over. It means to gain power over someone or something. Like, can you take control of this project? It's getting out of hand. Or a more literal example when you're driving is take control of the wheel, meaning you're asking someone to hold the wheel and drive. So, take control of your English learning journey by commenting down below which song we should break down next in an upcoming video. All I've ever known is a common phrase to say you don't know anything different because this is what you've known your whole life. It's common for people to be afraid to leave or move out of their hometowns because it's all they've ever known, and they don't know what it's like to be somewhere different. Or if you've been dating one person for a very long time and don't have any other dating experience, you might say, he's all I've ever known. How do I move on? So Harry is saying that this fear of loneliness is taking control of him and changing everything he's ever known. Antidote is literally medicine you take to counteract a poison. But we commonly use antidote in English to talk about something that can help fix a problem. Like, the antidote for loneliness is getting a pet or a roommate. So here, Harry is saying that this feeling of being afraid of being alone has completely taken control over him, who he is, and all his thoughts. But the way to fix that is by loving this person. If we actually break down the word antidote, we see it has the prefix anti, which means opposite, like antisocial means not social, or anti-hero means not your ideal hero, which is what Taylor Swift is singing about in this next song. It's full of useful English expressions, so go check it out.